Hello, my name is Jacqueline Hunt. I am an ASD life coach. What that means is I work with adults on the autism spectrum, anyone who considers themselves a little more neurodivergent. Myself, my team of coaches, we work with um, people who have related learning disabilities. We're familiar with social anxiety, OCD, ADHD. Our clients come from all walks of life, functioning at all different levels. And what we do is we teach skills in a variety of different realms. We teach skills in terms of social and communication skills. Those are, from the very basic all the way up to the very nuanced. Social and communication skills are the key to working with others, personal relationships, romantic relationships, especially professional relationships, going on job interviews, interacting with employees, getting along with your employer. Um, those basic, all the way up to the nuanced social skills of body language, eye contact, nonverbals, tone and inflection in the voice, everything that you could see in a person's interaction. Those are the nuanced, nonverbal types of communication. We do a lot of work on that. We work on building healthy, safe relationships from the ground up, and that applies to both friendships, personal relationships, romantic relationships, and also professional relationships. We work on college, navigating college, all the social and executive functioning expectations of college. We work on the practical aspects of resume writing, going on a job interview, interacting with employees, and when to be a leader, a follower, how to be a leader and a follower. We work on, in the final realm, there's a lot of overlap between all of these realms, but in the final realm, we work on executive functioning skills, your day-to-day life skills, budgeting, making the bed, organization, calendars. We work on those skills which are essential for your personal life, to manage your day-to-day life, and especially your professional life. Today, the focus on this presentation is going to be on, you know, obtaining and maintaining employment. I have recently, back in December of 2021, released a book, Life Coaching for Adults on the Autism Spectrum. A big reason that I wrote this book was to make one-on-one coaching type services, which can be expensive for many, especially if you're unemployed, especially if you're looking for work and you want assistance to get there. Having a book to refer to do some self-help, I felt was very important. It's affordable. You'll be linked to that book. You'll be able to find that at the end of this presentation. Periodically, this book is available for free in ebook format. When this webinar is posted, the book will be free for a few days. But if you're reading this after that time period, there will be other opportunities to obtain the book, the ebook version, for free, and also the paperback and audiobook version are always available for a nominal fee. So let's get into it. Let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll get started. So this presentation is about how to find, obtain, and maintain employment as a neurodivergent individual, someone on the autism spectrum, anyone who is struggling with, maybe you've been on a string of job interviews, maybe you have obtained a few jobs but have not been able to hold those jobs down. Maybe there are other issues going on with, you're in a workplace, but you're struggling with office politics, or you're struggling with maintaining connections with the other employees. That's what this presentation is about. You can learn more about this, what I'm going to be talking about today in my book, Life Coaching for Adults on the Autism Spectrum, Discovering Your True Potential. You can find that on Amazon.com. I'll have a link to it at the end. There'll be a link wherever you're watching this video. So let's get started here. At the bottom of the screen, you see my certifications. You can also check out my website, learn more about me and my team of coaches, what we do in terms of our one-on-one coaching, asdlifecoaches.com. Okay, so there are currently 5 million adults diagnosed on the autism spectrum in the United States today. 80% of these adults on the autism spectrum are unemployed 5 years out of high school. That is a tremendous statistic. 100% of these adults who are unemployed are employable. This is just the statistic for adults on the spectrum who are diagnosed. If you are a female, age 20 or above, higher functioning, may have fell through the cracks in school, you may not have a diagnosis. You may just be getting diagnosed. If you're a male 30 or above, you may have fallen through the cracks, never gotten an official diagnosis. We have people come to us in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even older, where a child or grandchild was recently diagnosed on the spectrum, and that person themselves realized, wow, maybe I am too. And they go get evaluated and they realize they may be somewhere on the spectrum or have a related learning disability. So this number is very small and conservative because there are many adults out there that go without any type of diagnosis or intervention. I would say that this is closer to the tens of millions. But that would just be an estimate based on my client base and who comes to us without a diagnosis. What is autism? This is extremely important to understand. The disability of autism and anything related in that realm is social and communicative. That means that the disability is not physical. There may be physical disabilities that come along with it, of course, but the disability is not physical. It is a social and communicative. That means intelligence can be intact. And in many cases, intelligence is very high in someone on the autism spectrum. Your memorizational skills, for instance, can compensate. And that's why we have many on the spectrum who go into fields like accounting, programming. 2 + 2 always equals 4. But a compliment on Monday, which is taken very well, may be taken the complete opposite way on Tuesday, depending on the situation, context, how it was said, when it was said. Social communicative interaction is very complex, and that is where the disability lies. That's why we call it an invisible disability, because the person you're looking at looks like everybody else, maybe talks like everybody else, or even talks at a higher vocabulary and intellectual level than most others. But the reality is there is a real disability in there that we cannot see with our eyes. And we need more awareness of this. We need to be able to advocate for ourselves a little bit better and explain our disability. And so it is very important to understand that the autism spectrum is and anything related, nonverbal learning disability, oftentimes things like ADHD. It's a disability that you can't always see with your eyes. And I could go on and on about that concept, but we do need to move forward for the purposes of this presentation. All of this you can find in my book, and there will be many more presentations like this available on YouTube in the future, so keep a lookout. Just to go over the job career aspect of things, when looking for a job or a career, and we'll go into all of these in more detail, but we are looking at finding what job interests you may have. building a resume and cover letter. These are some of the practical aspects of finding a job and developing a career. We need to interview, practice for that job interview, not just the content, but also how we interact socially. Then we need to seek out those job opportunities, nail that job interview. Um, it usually takes about 3 months when you start to look for employment to find a job, to find the job that's the right fit for you, um, and to make sure that's where you want to be. Some people get frustrated when they don't get the first job they apply to. That's unrealistic. It takes time. It also depends on when you're looking. The best times to look for a job are in early September, late August, after the new year. When you start looking for a job during the holiday season, it may take a little bit longer, because people go away, go on vacation in the middle of the summer. It may be harder to find a job. And then maintaining employment, making sure we are performing, well liked, interacting appropriately. If we could go about 3 months without any incidents, or at least taking care of those incidents when they crop up, chances are we have a good, solid career in place, and we could start working on advancing, moving up, developing that position. Okay, so job interests. Part of my book, we really go through expectations, problems, and solutions. So one of the first things you want to do is brainstorm your interests, considering your hobbies, childhood dreams. I am so sorry to move myself around like that. I just wanted you to be able to read that. Um, we want to, we don't want to just find any job. We want to find a job that we enjoy, that we like, that we could set ourselves up for success. If you are someone who struggles socially and you go into retail and there's pressure and there's people yelling at you and there's an expectation of fast, quick performance, you're setting yourself up for failure. And there's no reason to put yourself through that when there are so many other types of jobs out there, entry-level jobs that you can perform, that we could build up that self-confidence, go at your own pace, work towards something that that you can turn into a passion and a career. Now, if your childhood dream is to design video games, um, it's a wonderful dream. But if you're starting off at the point that all you do is play video games and you don't know anything about programming, you don't know anything about building a story, that video game designer dream may not yet be realistic, but we can start in a spot that is realistic and start working towards it. Um, it's important to take an inventory of your skills, what comes naturally to you. What kinds of environments do you flourish in? What types of environments do you not do well in, so we can avoid those environments? A wonderful tool that I love to present to our clients is the interest profiler. You can find it here. And I will try to provide this presentation for people to download so that they can click these links. The interest profiler is an excellent way of taking your interests, what you like to do, and finding jobs in a variety of different job realms that you could pursue. And it shows you job realm, little to no experience, all the way up to extensive training and experience. And so you could see the path you need to take to get to the job you want in life and figure out what's realistic for you to accomplish. I would then narrow down that search. Sometimes what overwhelms us is we have too many interests, too many desires, too many things we want to accomplish. We need to narrow that down to 1 to 3. That can change, that can evolve, but it's important to get on a path. It doesn't matter what that path is as long as it's doable, realistic. We need to get on a path. And then that path can change, evolve, deviate over time. But if we don't take any action, we get stuck. We fall behind our peers. So it's very important to get on that path and move forward. It's important to remember most college graduates end up in a field they didn't intend to pursue initially, but stumbled upon later. And that's because they were on a path. They were taking courses that they didn't like. They were getting internship experience that just wasn't for them. They ended up taking a course that they did find that they were passionate about and loved. And then that trajectory shot off and they went in that direction. So this is your time to explore and figure out what you want to do. This is an exciting time. Let's see here. Resume and cover letter. Expectations, problems, and solutions. You'll see that as a theme here. The resume. What does your resume entail? Personal information. You want an objective or a statement of intent. You want work experience, education. You want to put your skills on there. You want any special achievements and references on this resume. Everyone should also have a cover letter. The cover letter should have personal information, your address, your information of the employer so that they see that you're tailoring this letter to them. And then the content of a cover letter should be a greeting, and then 3 paragraphs of information, introducing yourself, why you would be a good fit for the organization and the position you're interested in, and then your desire to set up an in-person meeting or a virtual meeting these days to discuss the opportunity. This cover letter makes your application more personal, a great way to stand out and to initiate that first social connection with an employer. To have your qualifications on paper in a resume is great. And then the letter expressing your interest in a job opportunity is essential in making that initial social connection that you're looking to achieve then when you get to the job interview. So let's just go over the job interview. Oh, how do I go back? There we go. Job interview practice. When you're practicing for a job interview, you need extensive preparation. You need to practice, whether it's with a coach, a friend, a mentor. You need to go through standard interview questions. Many on the spectrum have a hard time predicting and being prepared for the future. So the more we practice, the more we go through standard interview questions, the more we go through questions that may be completely unrelated, but we practice answering those questions properly. That's going to get you much more comfortable. That's going to have you come off much more experienced, knowledgeable, confident in that job interview. I think one of the biggest pieces to this is knowing personal and professional boundaries, knowing what's okay to reveal, what's important to keep private. Let's say you're struggling with your romantic relationship at home. That may not be something you want to discuss in your job interview. If you struggle with performing at a quick pace, let's say, that may be something you want to discuss with your employer. My work is very accurate, but I do need to take a little extra time on certain tasks. That's a very professional thing to reveal about yourself and discuss and let your employer know. And a good employer will work with you. If you know what to expect, you are much more likely to succeed than if you are caught off guard. So now we got to find these job opportunities. Just trying to move myself out of the way so that you can read this. How do we find these job opportunities? Well, you want to search out job postings. You could do that on the internet, newspapers. There are a million different job search sites. You can apply for internships. other opportunities. Some may be paid, some may be unpaid. Utilize your college career services. If you did go to college or university, utilize the services in those offices. They usually have job listings, people to help you. Take advantage of all of that. Seek out services in your community. Communities often have job postings and bulletins and resources that can help you. If you have DVR services or Department of Developmental Disability services that offer coaching and accommodations, take advantage of everything that you are entitled to. Look at career, employer websites directly usually have a careers section. There's also apps, paper listings. Check out your immediate environment. What you're looking for is an environment that is best suited to you and your strengths, and works around your weaknesses. You want a job that goes at your pace. You need to have a passion or an interest, at least, for the work that you will be doing. And it has to be personal, rewarding in some way. And it could be rewarding, the actual work that you're doing, the fact that you've made money. You need to find something that's rewarding about this position. We need to seek out positions where we know the environment is appropriate to our strengths and takes into account our weaknesses. If you can own up to your weaknesses, it doesn't matter what diagnosis you may have or not have, if you can own up to your weaknesses and take your strengths to the fullest potential, there's nothing that can stop you in building a career. All right, nailing that job interview. Let's see here. I lost my mouse. Here we go. Here we go. Sell your abilities. Prove your potential value to the company. Display your knowledge and desire to be part of the team. Be prepared and able to accept inevitable rejections. Almost no one gets the first job they apply to. Almost no one gets the first 10 jobs that they apply to. Rejection is going to happen. You will have to endure rejection. And until you're ready for that, you have to be willing to know that you will be rejected. And that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, or you did something wrong, or you don't have the experience. We just don't know our competition. And there are always people better than us. There's always people worse than us. Our competition makes a difference. And so not being the absolute best person is not something to beat yourself up over, because there's always someone smarter. There's always someone more capable of the job. It just depends on who shows up that day. And so there will be rejections. We have to be prepared for those rejections. But if we keep going, we will eventually find the job that's right for us. This is the ultimate situation where first impressions are important, because you usually don't get many chances with a job interview. People, dates, you sometimes get more opportunities, but with a job interview, you need to nail it. So let's just talk about, really quick, nailing the job interview. Actually, we'll pause here and then we will continue in a separate video, or I'll continue on in a moment, and we'll go through the job interview. Okay, so we are back. Let's get to nailing the job interview. That means accomplishing it, getting it right. The first thing you want to remember when going on a job interview is your goal is to come off as likable, easy to interact with, and connect with all of the people interviewing you. Sometimes one-on-one is easier. Sometimes when there's multiple people, that can be more difficult. But your goal is to be friendly, easy to talk to, answering questions in complete sentences, not just yes or no. So for instance, if someone said to you, tell me a little bit about yourself, it's more than just, well, I'm here looking for a job with your company. It's, talk about something that's relevant. to the job at hand. So if myself as a life coach were interviewing to become a coach at another organization, I would talk about my background as a coach and how I got to where I was today and what I was looking to accomplish, and let them know that I think I can accomplish my goals through their organization. It's sometimes hard to extrapolate and create that on the fly. But if you do some preparation, and have an idea of what you'd like to say and be ready for those questions, um, I think you'd do very well. It's important to be knowledgeable about yourself, know everything that's on your resume, understand your skills, be ready to demonstrate your skills on the fly. Make sure you know about the company. I was doing an interview earlier today, and I was curious to know what that interviewer thought of my company and what they knew about it, and they did their research and they were honest. Honesty is important. Um, and even if that honesty may be a little negative feedback, and well, actually, I didn't really research your company very well, um, you can give a reason why. I looked up your company, but I didn't have enough time to read your book or enough time to watch all of the videos on your site, but I did make it a point to check things out. Being honest, open, but also showing your willingness to learn and grow and educate yourself. You want to be prepared to have a back and forth dialogue with the interviewer. You do not want to just sit there answering yes or no questions. You want to have a conversation. A lot of the things in this presentation are advanced stuff. When you'll see that I'll have other videos on social communication and reciprocal conversation. And this is more higher level stuff. So we're already assuming that you know how to have that back and forth dialogue. But if you don't, if you are still struggling in those nuanced social skills, the communication aspect of things, go back, read my book, do some research on my website. There'll be other videos posted soon, really giving you the background to be at this point and be ready for this type of exchange. But you want to have a back and forth where you're talking for about a paragraph of information, the interviewer is talking for about a paragraph of information or so, and having that back and forth dialogue, because that's how you connect with people, that's how you exchange valuable information. And you want to show that you're confident but not arrogant, which is a dance to be had. You want to show confidence, knowledge, experience, but you also want to be humble and show that you don't know everything. You know what you know, and you're willing to learn and grow and change. But it's important to be confident in your ability while at the same time knowing that you are not a know-it-all. This is about making a meaningful and purposeful connection with the person interviewing you, because they go on that more than your knowledge, your experience. They go with, do I connect with this person? Will this person continually connect with me and the other employees? That's what you want. Okay, obtaining employment. Usually, on average, 3 months from the start of the job search is a reasonable amount of time to expect finding a job to take. If it's taking 6 months, a year, something is wrong. 3 months, sending out resumes regularly, seeking out jobs regularly, maybe once a day. You don't want searching for a job to be a full-time job. You want it to be something that is a couple of resumes a day. Rejection is part of this. Very rarely does someone get the first job they apply for. So you have to be willing for rejection, willing to accept rejection. Chances are you will be rejected for many jobs, many interviews that you go on. They may never call you back. They may never give you closure. And companies are busy. Some are very good, some, about getting back to you, others are moving on to the next thing. You never know what your competition is going to be. We said this earlier. There may be someone with more ability, more talent, more social skills. That doesn't mean you are not good enough. It just means there might have been a better option for that company, a better fit. You have to remember that even with rejection, even with competition, you are employable. 100% of adults on the autism spectrum, every single one of them are employable, and you are valuable. And it's all about finding the right fit, not just for that company, but also for you. You are interviewing them just as much as they are interviewing you. You need the right environment, you need the right team, you need the right job. So you must be persistent, you must have realistic goals, and you have to be willing to continually work to improve your skills and abilities. Now, once you gain a job, once you get that job, it is important to maintain it. So usually, if you can go 3 months without any incidents, any problems, you're in good shape. If there are incidents or problems, learning how to deal with them, tackle them, not just let them fester and not face them, but actually do something about it, you're in very good shape. You need to actively listen. You need to follow instructions from your supervisors. You have to learn when to be a leader, when to be a follower. You want to make sure you're completing all of your job duties, not skipping things, not doing half the job, but completing everything to the fullest. You want to have successful social interactions with the other employees when appropriate. You want to have successful social interactions with your employers. You want to be able to engage as a team. Some jobs require more teamwork than others. Almost every job requires you to work with someone, unless you're in business for yourself, but even then you're sometimes collaborating with a client or some human interaction is involved. So being able to work with people and practicing that before you seek out employment. When you're uncertain about how to proceed, when you don't know what to do, when you're stuck, it is okay and important to ask for clarification. It's important to take notes and do everything you need to do to remember what you're supposed to do. An employer will tolerate 1 to 2 times asking the same question. But if you're making a repeated mistake for a long period of time, they will not tolerate that. Most employers want their employees to be able to work independently without much supervision. Other employees or employers are flexible and willing to work with you, but we need to strive to find the answers, work with our team, do what we have to do to work as independently as possible, and to work as smoothly with a team as possible. Okay, let's see here. All right, so you've maintained your job, you're doing well. Now we want to advance our career. We want to take things to the next level. This is important. Everybody should be able to advance their career. Oh, I made myself very small, but that's okay. I'll just move myself over here. Now, before you ask for advancement or a raise, you got to build your reputation. You got to be accurate. You got to be getting all of your work done. You have to be going above and beyond. And once you prove yourself and you build a good, solid reputation, no mistakes, a good rapport between yourself and the employees and your employer, then it's an excellent opportunity to ask for a promotion or a raise. You want your work impeccable. You want to collect the evidence to show your employer what you've been doing. You want to record everything. You want to write down your accomplishments. Very similar to writing your resume. You want to show to your employer, this is what I've done. This is how I've grown. I want to take things to the next level. Be strategic. Be strategic. Do not ask when the company is in dire financial positions. Do not ask when the boss is distracted with something in his personal life or professional life. Be strategic. Ask at the right time when you and your boss are having a positive conversation. Hey, boss, I'm really enjoy working here. I've done all these things for the company. I've written up a little report of what I've done and where I want to go. Would you take a look at it and consider giving me a review and potentially a raise? Be strategic. Pick and choose when it's the right time to do this. So, this was a very quick overview of an entire section of my book, Life Coaching for Adults on the Autism Spectrum. You can learn so much more by reading the book. I'm also going to be doing a much more thorough presentation on this topic that will be on social media and YouTube and things of that nature. I just wanted to get this quick overview out there now, just to show everyone, give everyone a quick overview. But I intend to delve into not just this presentation, but my book in depth, to give some more one-on-one instruction, some face-to-face time with people who may not be able to afford or access the one-on-one coaching right now. Give you guys some FaceTime and some real video instruction on this and all the other realms that we tend to work on as coaches. Check out my website, check out my team of coaches. The book is available on Amazon.com for the purposes of this particular presentation for September 22nd, 2022. The book will be available for a free download for the next 4 or 5 days. So please check it out. Please take advantage of that free resource. It was a pleasure speaking with you all today, and I look forward to seeing where you all go in the near future. Thank you so much. Take care.